We're here with Darrell Coach D. Andrews.
Yes.
You're a
Yes.
minister, you're a best-selling author.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to you for just a little bit. I know you're a great strategist.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Talk to our audience for
Yes.
people who are meeting and discovering you for the first time here.
Yes.
Who are you and why are you? In that deep, like, who are you and why are you?
I have to ask my mom that one, but I just first of all say thank you for the opportunity to be here and your wonderful organization and your wonderful team. It's just been a pleasure, coming here and participating in the great work that you're doing here with this organization at CAP. But I'm Darrell Andrews, Coach D. I've been doing the work that I do for 24 years. As mentioned, I am a licensed minister, but I'm also a speaker, I'm a trainer, and a coach. And that has been to organizations, individuals, corporations worldwide. I've traveled all over the globe. The big thing we really like to focus on, and also I didn't mention, I'm an author of 8 books.
8 books.
Joseph in the Global Marketplace is a marketplace ministry book, Reinvention, The Pathway to Job Search Success. That's a book about reinventing your career and your life, really. And then one of my recent books, The Self-Care Movement, is to try to create a movement of wellness in the workplace because there's a great need there.
And tell us of the one that started it all.
How to Find Your Passion and Make a Living at it.
I intend to go buy that book right after this because I want to learn more about that.
Yeah. But we have a unique style of speaking, training, and coaching. Like we were talking about a little earlier, I like storytelling because it's amazing when you can speak to an audience of 20 or an audience of 20,000. And the one thing they'll remember is the story.
Yes. Yeah. And storytelling is ancestral for us,
Yes.
It's how we tell our history. It's how people forget that.
Yes. But then, so we tell the stories, but then we also like to focus on neurological type things, so like neurological pathways, neuroplasticity, because what we tell our customers, be it somebody we're coaching, an organization we're coaching on culture or things like that, is you are where you are because of the habits that you've developed. You just didn't accidentally stumble here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so with intentionality, we need to think about the way we think about things and the way we do things. And we have to ask ourselves the question often, why do we do things the way we do them? And so we focus on helping people kind of reprogram, reevaluate and think about the way that they do things. And that's for companies and organizations, but even individuals that may want to life coaching, or they're looking at some type of career coaching, or I do speaking, professional speaker coaching, whatever it is, because we do all of it. Okay, let's look at the way you see things and how can we position them so that you can achieve the outcome, because the only way you're going to get there is you got to work on you.
I remember you saying earlier in our conversation before camera about that loop that people find themselves in.
Yeah. It's sort of, I guess if you want to give it a name, it's a habit loop.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is we get comfortable with the habit loop because it's normal to us.
Yeah.
It's the way we do things. And so in our minds, we've rationalized that it's okay, even though it's not. And so we end up going down the same pathways.
Like for familiarity almost.
Yes, absolutely.
How do we, because I know that a lot of people are well-meaning and they listen or they try to help somebody out of that loop, but you notice that person doesn't get out of the loop.
Yes.
I've dealt with this with some family and we've been trying to figure it out together. Well, what next? And I actually said recently, I think that I'm not equipped to help you because it is a loop. And so what's your advice to folks like that?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is, and this is a simple word that we all are aware of, and that's awareness. Like, I have to be aware that this way of thinking exists. Because if not, it just will, again, be normal to me.
Yeah.
And so it's so interesting. Like, we used to do a lot of work in schools, and we still do, go in and we motivate the young people and the teachers and all of that. And I would ask the question, why are certain kids the way that they are? Because people have a tendency to want to look at the negative a lot. It's like they'll look at and I said, let me say something to you. And I just explain it to them that they didn't ask to be that way. They became that way because of things that they did over time, or it could be family exposure, or whatever it may be. So no one just wants to be in a certain position.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They end up there. And I said, so the way that you change that is you gotta kind of reverse engineer it. You gotta analyze it. You gotta look at it And you got to say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to go through this maybe slightly painful process of changing the way I do things.
Yes.
And what we look at is what's called systems. And I love this quote, and I think you'll love this quote too. And it's found in the book Atomic Habits, where it says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
So you got very true. Oh God.
People got all these goals. Why don't I hit them? Because you don't have a system to hit the goals. So you just keep missing it over and over again.
Yes.
So what we try to do with the people we coach is put them in systems and say, you know what, for the next 2 months, you're going to be really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. That's you came in and you complimented the team. In the last couple of months, we've been developing the systems, and it was so hard because I'm a doer.
Yeah.
So to sit there and train everybody and to make sure everybody got the right structure was hard. But I knew we could not rise. We couldn't do all the things that we have planned for this year.
Yeah.
If we didn't have
those
that.
systems weren't in place. So I tell you something, one of my mentors said, his name is Earl Stafford. Now, Earl owned a company by the name of Unitech, and he sold his business for like $500 million. So he's in good shape. But I remember meeting at his offices in Virginia, and he was talking about leadership, and he was talking about just success in general. And he said, Darrell, he looked me in the eyes, he said, Darrell, people always talk about dreams, they always talk about this, and they always talk about goals. And he said, but here's the problem. People fall in love with the dream. So they're just like really excited about it. They can communicate it to everybody and all of that. He said, Darrell, don't be like them. He said, this is another powerful statement. He said, don't fall in love with the dream. Fall in love with the process.
Oh, that is so true. That is so true. Oh my gosh.
Fall in love with the process. He said, because it's the process that gets you to the dream.
Yes.
It really is. It's the process. And so I'm with them with that because, and so anybody that's ever achieved anything of significance, it's process that's got them there.
That's,
it's really amazing when you think about it.
Yes. And folks sometimes sit on the sidelines and actually wonder how come people can't, but whether it's the fear of failure, whether it's that, the dream is so important to them that they don't want to execute because they don't want to fail.
They don't want to fail. Yeah, that's a good perspective. You're absolutely right. And so it's a discomfort. And then also sometimes if you're kind of a first generation dreamer, a person trying to perceive something, now you are in a space all by yourself. And you're trying to figure all this out. Like I was a first generation college graduate.
Okay.
And it's actually a story about my college experience in Chicken Soup for the African American Soul called 5 Garbage Bags in a Dream, because I dropped out of college because that was just what I was comfortable doing. But a good friend encouraged me to go back. And but I didn't have any money for college. I didn't have anything. So I just literally showed up on my college with everything I owned in 5 garbage bags, and I would go to college.
Wow.
And I think they thought I was a little bit crazy, but they worked with me. And then I'll never forget, I met with the president of the university. He said, Dr. McCummings, he said, the only other person to know that did what you did was Booker T. Washington.
Wow.
I said, that's the bar kind of high right there. But I did tell him, I said, you give me an opportunity and I'll take your name worldwide. Cheney University of Pennsylvania, the first HBCU in the country. And I've taken the name worldwide.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, that brings us to the question that we really want to know. What's that pivotal moment that just pushed you towards writing and mentoring? What do you remember?
I'm a student. What I mean by that is I read a lot. I listen a lot. And I remember, I guess I was probably about 23, 24 years old. And I started thinking about contribution. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting at the age to think about legacy because you're just starting to live, so you're not really thinking. But I was thinking, what legacy do I want? And I realized that these things last forever.
Very true. Long
beyond us. And so I was raised in a world where my mother had to overcome obstacles. My dad, unfortunately, things didn't work out with them and left early. And so I knew I wanted to use my life in a way to help people who had been in similar situations that I was in, So I just started saying, so writing was just one of the tools to do that, along with speaking and coaching and training people. So I would say it was probably around 23 years old when I realized I wanted to make a contribution to society and the world we live in. But I didn't write my first book till I was 35.
Okay. But did you start coaching?
Yeah. I started that when I was 30. So I
Okay.
started that when I was 30. And so, yeah, and then, but the first book didn't come out till 5 years later.
Till 5 years later, but it was in you. You
It was in
remember
me.
that spark
Yeah.
at 23.
Oh, yeah,
That's very early.
Yeah, that's
So at that point, you
Yeah.
feel like that's my thing.
That's my thing. And I just, again, I think about my mother, who we lost a few years ago, but you know how she didn't write a book or anything, but she left a contribution. I gotta tell you something funny. When I was a little kid, she used to always say to me, you're gonna laugh when you hear this, boy, one day you're gonna use that mouth to make a difference.
Oh, she saw it in you.
I was like Caribbean, you know that little flow right there, right?
Listen, she saw it in you.
Because that mouth wasn't being used to make a difference back then. It was a pain.
Our elders had this way, speak it into existence, and yeah.
That's what she did. Now, some mothers, your mamas out there, remember, and daddies, your words have power.
Oh my gosh.
So you can't can't beat your kids down. She never beat me down. She lifted me up by saying this. But I got, again, stories. So another situation happened where I was invited back to my hometown to speak to the city. 3,000 people showed up. It's like a dream come true. Your hometown inviting you back.
Listen. Your hometown. Listen, actors, actresses get huge, but it's the hometown.
The hometown.
That's a big deal.
That's major. So they invited me back, and mayor was there, the president of Syracuse University, and all that. I remember all these people, and it's funny because I was thinking when I was a kid, y'all didn't even want us on the campus. Now I'm here speaking. And so I did my presentation. And I got the craziest standing ovation because I'm talking about how we empower young people in our hometown and sharing some strategies. Some of my earlier books, one was Believe in the Hype, 7 Keys to Motivating Students of Color. So, writing those kind of books as well, The Purpose Living Teen, A Teen's Guide to Living Your Dreams. So those are other books that I have out there. So they knew about that and they had me come in. So afterwards, I'm on stage. I walk off the stage. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody grabbed in my arms and said, excuse me, I gotta go see Mom. And I walked over to her and she was in tears, right? And she hugged me, and it was so funny. And we had a great relationship. I said, what are you crying about? And she whispered in my ear, and she said, remember, baby, when I used to tell you, one day you're going to use that mouth to make a difference. Check out what she said. 3,000 people now know today what I knew when you were 5 years old.
Oh, my word. So listen. You know that you made your mom proud. Like that,
Yeah. That still makes me, when I think about it, her words released who I am today. Because she could use those words in other ways and I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now.
Yes.
So for those who are listening out there, words have power. And only use words that's going to lift a person up, not tear them down.
Absolutely. Listen, thanks to your mom. Because it probably is just, when you really think about it, her example that probably has you blending that coaching, motivation, and real life lessons, right?
Yes, absolutely.
How do you bring those together into your writing?
Yeah. So again, with writing is just a byproduct of all those things that you have in you in the first place. So it's like with me, I'm a big believer in writing things that are inspirational, but also writing things that are strategic. Okay. Because what I realize is this, like you can say we want to, let's say, improve a school. I'm just going to use that as an example. But it's okay to have, like, if you have 20, 10, 15 chapters saying how, we're going to motivate the school, but what's the process to do it? You know what I mean? So when I look at how all the different aspects of my life, my mom, all these different people that influence me, yes, these are, matter of fact, all my books are I give reference to people, you know what I mean, that have impacted my life. Like my 6th grade teacher, Miss Joy Palmer, she impacted my life, And so, but I carry all them into my writings. But I always want to make sure that people know that there's the inspirational part of it. But these books don't mean anything if you don't do anything with it.
Coming right back to that process.
Yeah. It's strategy. If we were talking about, like a lot of people just recently lost jobs and just still trying to find work and struggle. It's harder than ever. If I say I want to reinvent myself, what am I going to do that? Like, am I just going to feel motivated? No, you got to be motivated and also have a strategy.
Yeah.
To get up every day to go out there and reinvent. So I think all the different aspects of my life, the Earl Staffords of the world, I've interacted with Les Brown many times. All that flows into what I do and who I am.
I love that. I love it. I love it because for me, I believe like your mind is such a powerful thing.
It is.
And I know the value of listening to motivational speakers.
Yes.
But you really just laid out that other part, which is having that coach.
Yes.
For the process piece, because a lot of people don't understand. They get up every day, they're listening to their favorite motivational speaker, and they're still not getting the results. But it's that part. It's the part that's not their role. It's your role to go do.
Yes, that's it.
But you offer something, is what I'm understanding, that wraps in that coaching part.
Yes, absolutely. The coaching. I just put it to you like this. Imagine if you're a sports team. You got a bunch of players on the sideline and there's no coach. Hey, who playing today? Yeah. It's like, you know what I mean? The coach does two things. One, the coach brings motivation, but the really good coaches bring motivation and strategy.
Yeah. I remember very early in real estate. I used to do real estate before everything had collapsed the last time. And I was so blown away because we had some very young guys in our team, and we had a great broker. And the first thing he taught them was to pay for a coach.
There
and
you go.
It felt so weird because you're like, I am self-employed and I'm going to commit $1,500 a month.
Right.
Those guys soared.
And that $1,500 a month, they got back 1,000,000 times over.
Soared.
1,000,000 times over. That person gave them a gift.
Yes.
And the reason why, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a coach, because anybody that wants to advance, again, if it's career or whatever, trying to do it on your own, you're gonna have self-doubt. You're gonna have this. You're gonna have obstacles. Something's gonna come up. A coach keeps you calibrated.
He used to say, "Get those drunk monkeys out of your head."
Good advice.
Yeah.
And that's why I love coaching, because I love seeing how people go from, thinking a certain way to all of a sudden now, they're like in a totally different space because now, and the reason why, what they don't realize is just like, I have 2 words that I typically pick for every year. Like this year, my 2 words are consistency and discipline. And what I'm saying, that's all we do with coaching. We're trying to get you to be consistent, and we're trying to get you to be disciplined.
I love that.
And I got to tell another quick story. Venus Williams was being interviewed, and they asked her the question. All right, and they're coached. I mean, they have coaches.
Yes.
They're the best in the world. Tiger Woods. They all have coaches. Right? And so they asked her what was the key to her success. And she said, in a story, she said, well, I have several close friends. We're all successful. I'm successful in tennis. Some friends are successful in acting, all these different things. And she said this: we recognize the fact that there's going to be times when we don't see each other for long periods of time. I may be training for Wimbledon. Somebody may be training for a script. And then this is what she said. It was so powerful. She said, you want to know what the key to success is? She said, the key to success is discipline. And then she ended with this: discipline is the key to freedom. Oh,
I love that. I love it. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I'll tell you what I love learning.
Yes.
I've never been, I came from my parents were self-employed.
Yes.
So I've always been an entrepreneur. So we always had to get up early, get to work, figure out how you make money. I'm so grateful that I know you can make money.
You can make money.
Right? Because I didn't know people didn't know that. Right?
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed and loved what I do.
Yeah.
But the key to scaling is that the discipline and the consistency.
The discipline and the consistency. And if you don't have them, you're not going to scale. There's not much you're not going to do in anything. Like even in athletics, I was a former high school and college athlete. And just like you just said about those sales, that team, the ones who put the energy in, the ones who worked out, the ones who were disciplined, they were the all-conference one. The pro teams were coming up to look at them because they were willing to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And so people don't realize that the discipline is just, we look at it and it's almost like a taboo word for some folks, but discipline is really just being consistent in the way that you do things to produce an outcome.
Yes.
And being willing, one of my favorite words, I tell you, I really made this really my favorite word last year, and that's no.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, no. No.
Yeah.
And it's not like I said no to everyone. I said no to things that were going to take me off course.
Yeah. Yep.
We got to stay on course.
Absolutely.
And that's what Venus was talking about. She said, it's not that I don't love you. but I'm training for Wimbledon.
Yeah, there's something at the end of that rainbow.
So
that
we'll
I
catch
have
up
to
with
get
you
to.
later.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna win. I'm trying to win that, and she won a few of them things. So the point I'm making is that's what we're trying to get people to do with our coaching program. Stay the course, and that's what I'm gonna do. And my team, I have some coaches that work with me. That's what we're gonna do. Help you stay the course because all of us need it.
Yeah.
I've been coached. I've had multiple coaches in my lifetime.
Listen, let me tell you, I love working. Like, love what I do. And my husband knows this, one of the best gifts he could have given me was a Tony Robbins seminar.
There it is, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, if you haven't gone to these things,
Tony is like a whole nother level.
Jesus, where's just the mind shift?
And you got to keep in mind, though, he was the one that was initially, going back to what I just said a little while ago, that started the neuro-linguistic programming. So he understands the mindset part. So I'm not, that's kind of why I said, you know what, he understands, and millions of people worldwide have been transformed through his seminars because they don't realize he's just working with your mind when you walk up in there.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? It's the best gift you can give yourself.
Yep.
And you walk out knowing that, like, so I realize people get addicted to it.
Yep.
Right? Because it's a high.
It's a high. It's a high. But when I say to folks, when you walk out of those meetings, what you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing because you get the information. I know him. I've been to some too. He gives strategies. Not everybody does that. Some folk give you just a lot of energy and you walk out feeling energized and the next day you're deflated. But he gives strategy. And I tell people, you gotta, like, if you go to a seminar like that, write down 3 things you're going to immediately do, even if it's just one thing.
Yeah.
Because what you'll find is they're saying this because they've experienced it. And Tony, well, he's probably been the most successful speaker that ever lived by far. I don't think any of us come close to that guy, but he knows what he's talking about. He really knows what he's talking about.
So just honestly, guys, we're like coaching, mentoring, this, if you're in business, it's about the best thing that you could do for yourself is to find a coach.
And if I can add to that too, don't be intimidated about paying for a coach. And the reason why I say that is the reason I say that is people, I was talking to this one person, when we talked about coaching, I say, I coach a fee, and I gave him the fee, and they said, I don't know. I said, let me ask you a question. Did you go on vacation last year? They're like, yeah. How much that vacation cost you? $5,000. Yeah. I said, so you can get $5,000 to go on a trip, but you can't do whatever to pay for your own development. That can pay for that trip 500 times. Yep. I said, so you got to make it a priority. That's the point I'm making with folks.
It's an investment in yourself. That's the point, right? And your mind is. Anybody leading an organization, it's only as good as honestly your brain. Like that's why people don't even realize sometimes when companies get to a certain stage, if it's just led by one person, people understand the risk in that. And because it's so you have to protect this mind.
Especially if you're leading people.
If you're leading people, you have to. I
got to tell you this real quick. I remember we were flown into Dallas, Texas, to do a training for a big company out in the West Coast, and they had some of their leaders, and they had some of their VPs, and one of the senior leaders that brought me in to do this core values integration, team building training for 3 days. So we totally rewrote their core values. It was great. It was a great interaction, but halfway through the training, I was noticing the dynamics, and I noticed, okay, this leader wants me to impact the team. I need to talk to the leader. Now, you know how hard that is, but that's the one that wrote the check, right? So, but I pulled him to the side. Great guy, but and I told him, I said, your team, all right, is phenomenal. I've been interacting with these folks. They are getting it. We're integrating. I said, but can I be honest with you? I said, do you want to hear the truth? He said, well, that's what I brought you in for. I said, we got to work on you.
Oh my God. We will have to have you come back. We have to have you come back and do this because, oh my goodness.
Hey,
Coach
I'm part of the team.
You're part of the team.
Put me in the game, Coach. I'm here.
What we're going to have to do is you're going to have to tell folks how they could work with you. Because I know it's more than, of course, the books, they can buy the books, but obviously, they can folks can have you as a coach. How do we do that?
Well, a couple ways. One, obviously I do coaching individually, small businesses, life coaching, career coaching, professional speaker coaching, and even leadership. We do that with organizations. But to touch base with us, just go to our website, coachdspeaks.com, but /coaching programs.
Okay.
Coaching programs to hear about our coaching programs. Now, the other page will tell you about all the other things, but because of our conversation and the crux of our work, I really want them to go to that page.
Yeah.
But then let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and that's Coach D Speaks on LinkedIn. And then I'm on TikTok, and I have a real interesting title on TikTok. So it's at In Your Face with Darrell.
All right.
NYO. NYO Face with Darrell.
I feel the energy of this TikTok already.
Because I'm going in on people. And I'm telling them, I said, stop making these excuses. You got to fight. You got to battle with yourself so you can change. And I go live, and there'll be like 20,000 people in there just listening.
Oh my word.
Yeah, because people want to hear the truth.
People really do want it. They want to hear the truth. They want it. Yeah.
So that's again a TikTok in yo face with Darrell, Darrell. And of all my pages, I love that one because I get to interact with a lot of people.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So.
All right. I love it. We're going to have you come back.
Please.
Because
please.
I went off on a tangent.
No, we
didn't cover the questions.
Oh, no, we had a good conversation.
We had a great conversation.
We just rolled what we had to roll with.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
I am so happy.
Yeah.
I realize what I do a lot is coaching.
Yes.
Right? And I really realize that. I'm in sales and marketing, but I get into companies and I end up just business development and and I'm like, that's not what I'm here to do. But I realize I love it.
Yeah, so
that's really why we set up this place, because I'm like, the only way I could still do that is really to have this membership program in Cat Village and have folks come in and just talk, and they could access me here because I gotta have it too. I gotta help to build and grow businesses. So
I want to become a member too. So
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yep.
We'd love to have you because we want to have you back to speak to our chamber members.
Yes.
We've got a lot of business development. We're focusing in on, especially from the cultural side, building the business aspect of that for folks.
We can help because I've been doing it 24 years. And I've been interacting with some of the top businesses in the country. Yeah. And like I said, with people, just realize is that when you look at people who have succeeded in business and people who maybe have not as much, it's just certain systems and patterns and habits and things that they consistently do to produce that outcome. And I think if you learn those things and stay the course with it, you can produce the same.
You really can.
You can do the same thing too. Yep.
So 2026.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Let's go.
Let's
make
go.
it happen. Let's make it happen. All right. It takes teamwork to make the dream work.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in, Coach.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure. Then thank you, Abby.
Yes, our behind the scenes. Love it.
Abby, my daughter's here taking pictures.
She glowed up when you said TikTok. I was looking, I said, she's got to be handling your TikTok in some way or the other. Yeah. Or she's just happy that you're cool enough on TikTok.
I'm cool on TikTok. I'm a cool dad.
Thanks again.
Thank you.